Alright, good morning. Welcome back to my stream. It's a Friday, which is good. Get a nice weekend coming up. And I'm going to be switching back to... Next week, I'm going to be switching back to this book here, Crafting Interpreters. But for now, we're going to try to finish up... Let's see, yeah. Letting the dragon attack from any tile. So we're in the middle of chapter 67. Actually, we're almost done with chapter 67. And then the other thing I was thinking about, and I want to add, was the ability, add something here on the cheat menu maybe, to summon things by name. We have a whole bunch of things in the game now. If we look at the raws spawns, these are the things that can spawn. And then there's spells, loot tables, although we haven't really played a lot with loot tables. We have a few dozen items now, right? And it would be nice to be able to, when testing, just be able to see, type in Rod of Venom and pull that up. Or get a mana potion or whatever, just by typing in its name. So that's going, slightly off the beaten path. But I think it would be useful for future chapters. There aren't that many chapters left, but I think, we're adding stuff. We're going to be wanting to test stuff. It'll be nice to have, a nice feature to have. And it also allow me to make sure that I'm learning the stuff that this book is teaching me, or trying to teach me. So let's dig in right away. Let me just get my pop-up. Okay, all good. Yeah, letting the dragon attack from any tiles. So another issue you may have noticed is that the dragon can only attack you from its head, the top left tile. I like to think of dragons as having cat-like agility. I tend to think of them being a lot like cats in general. So that won't work. We'll start out with a helper function. Yeah, I guess, so let's go quickly to take a look at the dragon here. I'll go into God mode, pop quickly into the dragon's lair. And then we can go see the dragon, ignoring all the hits I'm taking. Right, so this dragon takes up 4 tiles. And right now, all the origins of the attacks come from here. So I guess if you're here, we can try going that way. Ooh. Oh, I killed... oh, that's right. The dragon's not supposed to be able to kill itself. Didn't we change that? Did I not... Maybe I didn't test it. Let's try building it. Yeah, so we didn't build whatever it was we allegedly were supposed to do. Oops. And then we didn't test it. All right, let's make sure that that's true. And you're also not supposed to walk on the dragon. So that was the other thing we added. There's inflict damage. Yeah, this was in this stage here. But maybe we never tested it. I'm guessing. Okay, so let's refresh. Pop, 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 pop. There we go. And then reveal. And then we'll just find the dragon again. And then hopefully... So there's the dragon. He's hitting me with... So if I pop around him this way... Oh, see, I'm not supposed to be able to walk on him. I attacked him. I just went south. Right? On the dragon. And it attacked. And you saw the particle effect there. Let me do it again. J. And you can see it's attacking there. If I go down and to the right, and now if I go up one, I think I saw it attack. Let's see. No, and I was able to move down. Maybe the dragon moved down. I'm trying to hit the dragon. I can't because its armor is too much for my weapon, my rusty longsword. So I'm not doing any damage. All right. So this shouldn't be happening, right? We shouldn't be stepping on the dragon like this. And this nameless item is the particle effect. We figured that out yesterday. All right. But meanwhile, let's see if we can figure out how to get the dragon to attack from any tile. So, GUI. Where are we going here? Oh, this is in Rect, not GUI. Why was I thinking GUI? So this is our old Rect code. We're going to add hash set there, and then we're going to add a new function. Oh, we're going to add it inside, because this takes a self. So what is this doing? It's creating a hash set of all of the points within the rect. Okay. All right. I mean, this is something we do in Advent of Code, for example, to do things. So this is a pretty common thing to do. If the rects get too large, though, this could be an issue. But I guess, you know, we're limited on the map size anyway by 80 by 50. So this returns a hash set of tiles that are within the rectangle. Very simple, and hopefully optimizes it into quite a fast function. Now we go into adjacent AI system, and we'll modify the system to also query tile size. Oh no, it's in the adjacent AI system. We're going to add read storage for tile size. And then we have to throw it here at the end of sizes. Then we'll check to see if there's an irregular size and use the old code if there isn't. I guess irregular in this case meaning not 1 by 1. When I think irregular size, it means not rectangular. But I think they just mean not 1 by 1. And that's this code here. Right? If entity is not equal to player, there's the player, there's the reactions, IDX within height. And this is all of this code here. And it got spread out. That's the thing of cargo format, just spread everything out. So if we get rid of all these extra blank lines, we can put a closing brace here and put an opening brace here with an else, and then put an if here. And put an open brace there, and then just say to do. Let's see if that formats. Pattern not found, some version. Oh, right. Okay, so yeah, that formatted it back out for us. It's too bad that all of this looks it's hard to read. And this one turned out fine because we didn't have to worry about W as U size, I think. And it's IDX minus W as U size plus 1. So maybe we can do something here where we can just create a W, or maybe create a U and replace that. Let's see if that'll clean that up. Let U equals W as U size. And let's see if I change this to U. Yeah, that'll clean that up. Okay. So we can just change all of these. Yeah, I'll fix that later. But right now, I just care about the formatting here. change all of these. And save. Yeah, okay, that looks better. It's not as well, I mean, not one line per thing, but that's okay. We got one line inside the if. That makes it nicer. All right, so now we're going to do this. We'll say use create rect. Let mob rect, it's rect new. Right, and then get all tiles. So this mob rect returns a hash set of all the tiles that we're using. Let parent rect. And this just gets the rect that's one tile larger than it in each direction. And we're calling it the parent rect. For each t, if t.0 is greater than 0 and t.0 is less than w minus 1 and t.1 is greater than 0 and t.1 is less than h minus 1, let target index is map xy index t0 t1 like that, and then evaluate map factions, my faction name, and then mut reactions, and that's going to get spread out just like that. That's on the for each there. That closes the for each. That closes the filter, right? Well, they only have one here. Did I miss something? Oh yeah, this filter doesn't. It's like this, dot for each. Okay. Here we go. So that's that. What is this doing? So it's going to explain it here. But let's save and check. Oh, we have to add the tile size to the list up here. Just like that. Faction is not a thing? Oh, factions with an S. Oh, that's where the S ended up. Okay. And this didn't like this. Result, not insert. Oh, did I forget to create a hash set? I must have missed that line when I did this. Yeah, right there. Okay. Okay. Wait. Evaluate expected for. Oh, how did I put map in there? What was I looking at? There is a map. Oh. They must have changed something somewhere along the way. Oh, right. We refactored it to remove the map from it. That's right. I remember doing that now. That was the whole spatial thing. And it just hasn't... This document hasn't been updated yet. Oh, I forgot to return result. Okay, that's nice and clean. So we started this with the same setup as before. We use if let. Let's pull this up right now. Yeah. So this is adjacent AI system. Okay. Yep. We start with the same setup as before. We use if let here to obtain the tile size if there is one. We set up a mob rect that is equal to the position and dimensions of the mob and obtain a set of the tiles it covers. We set up a parent rect that is one tile larger in all directions. We call parent rect get all tiles. and transform it into an iterator. Then we filter out to only include tiles that aren't in the mob rec, so we have all the adjacent tiles. Then we use for each on the resultant set of tiles, make sure that the tiles are within the map. That's that line. And then add them to call evaluate on them. Okay, if you cargo run now, the dragon can attack you as you walk around it. Okay. Let's try that out. This is getting longer and longer. We're up to almost 30 seconds now as we add more and more code to compile. All right, refresh, get a new game, God mode, teleport, 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 and reveal. All right, so what is this dragon going to do now? Oops, hold on. Ignore the lizard man's. So he was able to bite. Yeah, I can attack it here, and I guess I can't stand on it anymore, right? He's attacking me from any tile, but he was able to do that before, I think. Or maybe he couldn't. Okay. Neat. All right, let's get these changes committed. Git add source, git status, git commit, gem, dragon can now attack from any of its 2x2 tiles. Okay, clipping the dragon's wings. Another issue is that the dragon can follow you down narrow corridors. Oh, is that true? Let's find out. Can the dragon sneak through here? I lead it this way. Yeah. Oh no, it's stuck on something. It's good and stuck right now. What happened? Why isn't it chasing after me? There's something wrong with the pathing, isn't there? Oh, because maybe it's starting from here and it's trying to go up and around like that. Oh. So you can get the dragon stuck on itself. That's pretty funny. But if I do this, then he can walk right through, yeah, that narrow corridor. Okay. Got it. Even though it doesn't fit. Pathfinding for large entities is often problematic in games. Dwarf Fortress ended up with a nasty, completely separate system for wagons. Let's hope we can do better than that. Our movement system largely relies on the blocked structure inside the maps, so we need a way to add blockage information for entities larger than one tile. In map mod, we'll add the following. Populate blocked multi. All right. I guess we can just throw it here at the bottom. Oh, this is a self thing, so it's got to be in the impl map section. I guess right here. All right, self-populate blocked. X in one self width -1. Okay, so we're doing this spatial thing here. So this part was updated at least. So if it's on the map, I guess we're assuming it's always going to be at least 0, or at least this is starting at least 1. Okay. Let TIDX, and then if create spatial is blocked, create spatial set blocked. No. Okay. All that to do these 2 lines here. So we're either going to do the singular block here, or we're going to do a block or copy the block from TIDX to IDX. And how does that help? I'd caution against that many nested loops, but at least it has escape clauses. Okay. So what does this do? It starts by building the blocked information for all tiles. That's this first line. Then iterates the whole map, right? And if that tile is not blocked, it iterates the tile within the size of the entity, which is this width and height, added to the current coordinate. Any of those tiles are blocked. It sets the tile to be examined as blocked also. All right, so the net result is that you get a map of places the large entity can stand. Now we need to plug that into the Chase AI system. All right, let's see, does this check? We don't have set blocked. Is it called something else? No. We have a set size. What were the 2 different parts? We have a double bool of blocked and blocked, and I don't remember what they were. We set on clear, we set them both to false. Oh, the 0 is whether or not it's walkable, and 1 is whether or not there's an entity there. Ah, okay. Let's comment that. Okay. So with game mode, we have move entity, which moves the entity side of things, right? From blocked to blocked. Yep, that's the dot ones. But we don't have a set blocked. Okay, here's where we go to the code. I think set blocked is probably just going to be setting block.1 to true somewhere. I'm going to say 1 equals true and see where we do that. That's just index entity. I don't know why index entity wouldn't do this. Maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe that's what we need to do, is get the entity's size here and set it correctly. But let's take a quick look here under spatial. Oh, that's right. Spatial might not exist here. It does. Okay, let's take a look. And set blocked. Here's set blocked. I mean, we could just add this in and see if that breaks anything. It might break everything. Oops. I want to set it blocked bool here. So all we're going to do is update the dot one. I don't know why we don't just say dot one equals blocked. Why do we have to get fancy? Oh, my brain went over here. We don't need to return anything. Okay. Can't bar is mutable. Oh, I have to put a mut in here. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that builds. Hopefully it'll run. And then chase. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Here we are. Chase. So turn, done, push. Here we are. So turn, done, push entity. Target pause is target's entity, and then the path is equal to a star search. Oh, so we're changing the way we're doing the path here. So we're going to say path is if let some size is equal to sizes get entity, then else we're going to just call RLTK like that, put that there and put that there, semicolon that, and then we're done. Okay, so what are we going to do here? If so let mut map copy is map.clone map copy populate blocked multi and then we're going to return RLTK a star search on map copy. Right? Nope. Oh, we don't have sizes. I gotta add sizes in. Up here. Tile size. Read storage. Take a tile size. And then here we put in sizes. There we go. Okay. So we've changed the value of paths to be the same code as before for 1x1 entities, but take a clone of the map for large entities and use the new populate blocked multi-function to add blocks appropriate for a creature of this size. If you cargo run now, you can escape from the dragon by taking narrow passageways. Okay. I wonder if the dragon still, if this will update the dragon's pathfinding so it doesn't try to walk around itself. I don't know if that's been taken into account, but let's find out. In 30 seconds or so. Okay. Refresh. Begin new game. God mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reveal. Alright, let's see what the dragon does now if we try to run away. Okay. I see 2 Ds, but maybe the other 2 Ds are up here? No, he's walking, definitely still walking through walls. I need to understand what this G thing is, a rock golem, and why it's not attacking me. Come on, dragon, chase me. It's doing the breath so much. It's supposed to be doing breath 20% of the time, but this seems more like 90% of the time. Or 80%. Maybe we have the thing backwards. Why isn't it trying to chase me? 1 kilometer to heaven. Thank you for the follow. Alright. Why isn't it chasing me? And at some point, it should be out of breath charges, right? We should have that as a thing. And that's the other part of it. It should be costing mana, and I don't know how much mana these things have. Yeah, well, it's definitely not chasing me into the corridor. Will it chase me down here? I'm hitting space. Yeah, I think it's still stuck trying to get around itself. So if I went this way, it might make it easier for it to follow me. No. Yeah, it's definitely got issues walking around itself. Do I have to do this, or is that already in there? And I think that's a bug in the chase. Okay, that's still here. Yeah, I think because it's starting from Nala the Husky Pupper. Thank you for the follow. Oh, 1 kilometer says, I don't know what this is. It sounds cool. This is a Rust. It's a roguelike tutorial written in Rust. Let me put a link to the book in the chat, and you can take a look at it if you want. It actually starts from ground zero, so you don't have to know any Rust, and it shows you how to create a project and how to get the code going and everything. It's all in there. So if you want to learn Rust, or if you want to learn how to make roguelikes, if you want to learn how entity component systems work as a game infrastructure, this is all good. It's trying to do all 3 at the same time, and it's doing a good job of scratching the surface deeply enough that you can actually learn something. If you cargo run now, you can escape from the dragon. Yep. ASCII Dan, thank you for the follow. So why this much work? Nala, I won't ban you for talking in cute speak, but I won't read out cute speak. I'm sorry. But you're welcome to hang out and cute speak all you like. So why this much work? So why did we spend so much time making irregular sized objects work so generically when we could have special case to the black dragon? It's so that we can make more big things later, of course. A word of caution, it's always tempting to do this for everything, but remember the Yagni rule. You ain't gonna need it. If you don't really have a good reason to implement a feature, hold off until you either need it or it makes sense. Fun aside, I first heard of this rule by a fellow with the username Tansafal. There's no such thing as a free lunch. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. First time I ever heard this phrase was reading a Heinlein novel. So that was a while ago. Worrying about balance / playtesting. Now for the hard part. Okay. Up till now we've been doing the easy part. This is the hard part now. Buckle in. It's a good time to play through levels 1 through 6 a few times, see how far you get, and see what problems you encounter. Here's a few things I noticed. I ran into deer being far more annoying than intended, so for now I've removed them from the spawn table. Oh. I think they're in our spawn table. Let's actually get these changes committed. Yeah. Status. Update dragon movement to prevent going through corridors. I can type. Rats can't actually damage you. Changing their might to 7 gives a minimal penalty but makes them occasionally do some damage. Healing potions need to spawn a lot more frequently. I changed their spawn weight to 15. I encountered several occasions in which I really needed an emergency heal. And the game is a little too hard. You are really at the mercy of the random number generator. You can be doing really well and abandon it with good die rolls. He keeps mixing this word up. Kind of bugs me. I'm afraid. With good die rolls, slaughters you mercilessly, even after you've managed to get some armor on and leveled up. I decided to do 2 things to rectify this. I gave the player 20 hit points per level instead of 10 by changing player HP per level and player HP at level in Game System RS. Alright, so we can do this. I'm not going to remove the deer from the game because I haven't found them to be annoying. Let's see. Let's restart the game. Now the deer are all in this level, and you know you can walk around this level just fine. Let me kill this rat. And every so often you'll see a deer, but the deer run away from you pretty quickly. I don't even see any deer. We used to see deer. I'm pretty sure they're still there. I didn't remove them. Yeah, there's the deer. They got a weight of 14 at level 2, which is where we are now. And this is their stats. They do a bite if they attack, but they generally don't attack you because they're in the herbivore faction. So where are the deer? Or maybe they just run. Oh, there's one. Yeah, there it is. I don't see that they're annoying at all. I mean, there aren't that many of them, and they generally stay away from you, so you know, whatever. Okay. Rats can't actually damage you. Okay, that's something we can try out too. Let's go back home because it's a whole rat village or rat's a rat's nest in town. In one of these buildings there's a rat's nest. And let's see if the rats can actually... Oh, I turned on... Okay, let me restart because I turned on God mode. Let me at least do the reveal. Okay, God mode is not on now. There's the rats. Okay, can they damage me? No. Oh no, there it is. Rat hits player for 2 HP. They don't damage you a lot. They often can't connect, though. So what did they change? Their might was changed to 7. So if I change this to 7 and rebuild, let's see what the rats do. Healing potions need to spawn a lot more frequently. I changed their spawn weight to 15. So I'll have to take a quick look at what the current spawn rate is. And then we're almost done with this chapter. We're going to finish this up. And then, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to try working on something that's a little bit off the beaten path, off trail. Refresh. Okay, let's go find the rats now and see if they can damage me a little more frequently. Nope, not in there. Not in there. Not in there. They're generally in one of the smaller houses, but I'm running out of small houses now. There they are. Okay. So we got 3, we got a 0 and then 3 misses. I'm going to hit space. There's 2. Okay. I don't know. Changing the might didn't... maybe they were hitting more often? I don't know. I can't really... Maybe they're hitting slightly more often. Alright, and then I died. Okay. I don't mind leaving that. That didn't seem to make it too bad. And then healing potions. Let's take a look at those guys. Oh, health potions. Right, the current weight is 17. We can bump it to 15. Sorry, current weight was 7. So we bumped it to a little more than double that. And the game is a little too hard. So that's right, we're going to do two things to modify this. We're going to gain 20 hit points per level instead of 10. So let's save that and then say game system. Player HP per level. This says 20 hit points per level instead of 10, and then this says 15 instead. So, all right, maybe maybe you put it at 20 and then decided, 15 was the way to go. So I'll put in 15. I don't mind 15. And then it affects damage where we handle leveling up. I gave the players some more reason to level up. A random attribute and all skills improve. So leveling up makes you faster, stronger, and more damaging. It also makes you harder to hit. Here's the code. Okay, so this is in damage. Here's the congratulations line. So that's this here. Right, the lines that are already in here are these lines. I don't think these changed. Yeah. So I think they're just showing the whole function. So we can just improve random attribute and then improve all skills. I think I have it imported without having to go through the colon, the double colon thing. Enter to boost. And if not, I'll just add it. Like this. This should be roll die because it's a single die that we're rolling. Match. Enter to boost. And then log entries push. You feel stronger. To string. Okay, now that we've done that one, I messed up this thing here. Okay, and then we can just this line here, we can just copy this 2, 3, 4, and this is going to be instead of might, it's going to be fitness. You feel healthier. 3 is going to be quickness, and you feel quicker. And 4 is going to be intelligence, and you feel smarter. Okay, so let's see if cargo format will format that for us. Yep. Nicely done. And then improve all skills. Let mut skills is ECS right in storage. One of the things about the ECS is that it also has resources, and the resources, you can only have one type of any given resource. And the entity resource in the ECS is, we've decided, is the player. So we just, to get the player entity, we just do a fetch. Makes it easy. So every skill that the player has, we just boost. And we don't have any log message for it. And then we do an equipment change trigger. And the reason we're doing this is because we need to recalculate all the stats based on the current levels of everything. ECS fetch entity. Guess we can just do it this way. Equipment changed. Expect insert failed. And that's going to get spread out when we save it. Okay, let's see if this compiles. See if we have to add the random number generator. We do. Easy enough. Use RLTK. Yep, that was the first time we were pulling that out. Okay. Player attributes. What did I mess up? Oh, make it a mutable reference. And we have to probably do a get mute, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that change was kind of buried in there. That's fine. And then what's wrong with this? We can't get that on attributes? Oh, probably because we need to make it mutable. Okay, let's I bet you that's what happened. Oh, maybe it needs to, this says attributes get mute. Let's see. Read storage. Oh, this has to be write storage. Which means this has to be mut. There we go. Okay, now it builds. Playing again after these changes made for a much easier game and one which I felt like I could progress, but still face the real risk of death. The dragon still beat me, but it was a very close fight and I nearly won, so I played a few more times and was victorious once I found a strategy of spell and item use that rewarded me. That's great. That's the type of play a roguelike should have. I also found that in earlier levels I would die if I didn't pay attention, but would generally be victorious if I put my mind to it. Okay. So this would be interesting to play through, maybe not on stream, but at least you know, offline, just to see if I have the same kind of experience. And the other thing is, since this is all static HTML, one of the things I was thinking of trying to do would be to create a static site on Git. Git has the static page site. And not just, what are they called? Pages? GitHub, IO, something like that. Yeah, we could do github.io. Yeah, Uncle. Which I don't think, I don't have a GitHub pages yet. So that's something I could set up offline and then load this onto GitHub pages, and then anybody can play it from anywhere. Yeah, okay, so we got that. Let's see Clippy. Clippy's happy. And then we're going to create, before we go to the next chapter, we're going to create a item summoning cheat. Okay, this is saying we don't need a mutable reference to map copy passed in, which means, oh, this does need to be mutable because we're populating block tiles on it, but we don't have to pass in, we don't have to pass it in as mutable. Okay. Git add source, git status, git add raws, git commit, play ability tweaks for, I don't know, fun gameplay, I guess. Sure. All right, so let me get this up on GitHub real quick before I break anything. And then what we're going to do, oh yeah, and then I created the README. I need to pull that. I did that offline. Git status. What did I break? Oh, I should have done a rebase, right? Git pull to merge and remote, commit the merge, git commit, git status. Oh yeah, so how do I get this thing to use the right editor? Nvim editor equals nvim, maybe? There we go. Get status. Get push. Yeah, I added a README so that the project actually had a little something in there besides just whatever. And actually I need to update the README to link to this. My implementation of, let's put this in here. The Rust Roguelike tutorial found at this location. And I can never remember if it's parentheses and brackets or brackets and parentheses or whatever it is. Marked down. And yeah, link HTTP. That's the first one right there. And it is line breaks. Where's links? Links. There we go. So it's square brackets of the description and then curvy brackets of the actual link. So I can just say this: square brackets here, and then curvy brackets here. Right? And get add readme, get commit, add link, get push. I'm gonna assume that worked and not even think about it. Actually, I'm gonna go look. There it is. It worked. Okay. Ooh, I did the wrong thing. That's all right. I can fix that later. Okay, so what I want to do now is slightly off the trail, the blazed trail for us, and that's to update this cheating menu so that we can summon items. Because I want to be able to just pull up an Alchemy 101 without having to go hunting for it, for example. And what's the easiest way to do that? I don't know. So let's figure out where the cheating menu is coming from. Of course, it's in GUI. There we are. So what we want to do is add a new character, I guess. THRGM. I guess for summon we could use S. So we change that to S. Summon item by name. And then over here, virtual key code S. Cheat menu results. Summon item. And we're going to have to add that to these guys. And then we're going to have to handle it in the game state code. So over here, summon item. I guess for now what we'll just do is just to try it out, run state, just to make sure it's working. And that way it'll clear the menu, but it won't actually do anything, and we can log message in the console log just to see that it actually happened. So RLTK console log summon item. All right, so that should check. Let's build that. And then we'll see if that actually shows up here. It should. There's no reason it shouldn't, right? Apparently the barkeep is smart. Oops, I hit the... Go away. Patreon is average, and me, I'm quite average. There we go. Okay, so refresh. Now if I pull up the cheat menu, oh, I should make the box bigger. Okay, that's a good thing to fix. And then if I hit S, yep, okay, so that worked. we got that bit there. Let's go into the GUI real quick. Summon item is right here, and we just need to make the box bigger by 1. Oh, I see. Here's a count of how big it, how many items are going to be in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6 in it. All right, so that fixes that issue. And now what we need to do is have a new run state for summon item, because we need to display something that we're in the middle of doing a summon. So this will be run state, summon item, and that's what needs to go here. Oh, there it is. Summon item. And it's down here, and what we need to do is very similar to, yeah, so it's this kind of thing where we call a new GUI function which shows an editor window, I guess, which allows the player to type in what they want. So let result, let's just follow this form. GUI is summon item self CTX. GUI, I guess we can continue to use these or make up a new set of entries. Summon item result, cancel. If it's summon item, oh, it should be capital R for result of no response. Do nothing, and otherwise summon item result of, I don't know, done. And then I guess we're going to have in result.1 we'll have the thing to summon. So spawn item, item by name. I forget what the function is called on result.1, and it's we'll need some other things in there too. But let's take a look at the spawn code. FN spawn. Oh, spawn named item. That's what it's called. And it takes the raw's ECS key and position. Right. So let's go down to the player. Spawn named. Nope, spawns. It's in spawner. There we go. Spawn named item. Nope. FN player. Because we add things to the player here, right? Spawn named entity. Okay, that's the interface. Entity. And it'll be raws. Lock, unwrap, ECS, itself.ecs. The name is result.1, and then spawn type carried by. Do we have the player entity somewhere already? And that's it. Oh, before we do that, we need to say our new run state is run state ticking. Okay. I don't know if I have player. Oh, I have to fetch it. Okay. So we can fetch the player this way. And does this check? Well, we don't have summon item result. Those don't exist. So let's add those to the GUI. Main menu result. We can do this. Pub summon item result. And what was it? Cancel. No response. And done. Okay, that cleans up those. We still have this summon item thing to write. Self ECS is not found in is expected. Oh, expected mutt. Okay. I guess like that. Expected struct. And do I have to put a star in front of it? Without hitting F1 key. There we go. So I want to get it to the point where we only have summon item left. And yep, that's where we are. Okay. So let's go to the GUI. And then we're basically going to copy the show inventory or the show menu or the cheat menu. It's going to be very similar. Let's say, sure, up here, pub fun summon item. That's going to have GCS, which is mutt, GS, mutt state, CTX, mutt RLTK, and it's going to be a summon item result. Oh no, it's going to be a pair, right? Of summon item result and a string of what we're summoning. And we can, let's just split this up here. Let's close this window and go down here. And basically, let's just, for now, I can say ctx.print at, I don't know, 1,1 summon item. I'm just going to put this up so that we can actually see it's happening. And then we'll handle the keys. Match ctx key. If there's no key, then we're going to have a summon item result, : no response, and nothing string. If it's some key, we're going to match on the key. And for now, I'm just going to have, if we hit virtual key code escape, that's going to be summon item result, cancel, toString, and anything else is going to be summon item result, no response. Right? And that allows us to see the word summon item show up and then hit escape to make it go away. Let's see if that works. Result.1. Didn't like that. Expected stir found struct string. Oh, okay. Can't borrow, self ECS is mutable. Oh, we have to fetch mutt. And oh, that's a problem. We can't pass this in and pass in a player at the same time. So how's it done in Spawner? I mean, we could just drop it on the ground and just say it's not going into the player, but yeah, we can't. because ECS is mut, and then player is just, well, player's not mutable, so we don't need a mutable reference. Why do I think I need a mutable reference? It told me I needed to add a star there. Oh. What if I do it here? Yep, okay. That was the problem, because we were dereferencing it and having a mutable reference. But if we do it first, then we're okay. Okay. Very good. All right, so if I run now, I should be able to see the menu pop up. And then I should be able to hit escape and make it go away. And all other keys should do nothing. Let's see if that's true. So refresh there, begin new game, cheat menu, summon item by name. It does say summon item up here. We'll do it in a proper box, just like the other thing. And if I hit any keys, I'm typing a bunch of keys, nothing's happening. If I hit escape, it goes away, and I'm back in the game. Okay, so that part's working. This is exciting. Now the hard part. What are we doing with the game state? Summon item is here. I guess we don't need this console log thing anymore. All right, so what do we need to do with this menu is we need to draw it why didn't that jump to the GUI code? Okay, GUI. What we need to do is have a new resource, right, that we can type in things. How's this going to work? So, let's create, let's see, we have, right now in source lib, we have all these things. Let's create a new, here's tutorial. Should it go in tutorial? Sure. Or maybe it should be its own thing. Let's put it in here for now, and then I can always move it to its own file later. So if I create a pub struct editor, which it contains text, for example, which is a string. I imagine there's going to be some other things we're going to want. An impl editor, pub fun new. What we can do, if we just do that and we insert this into our resources, right? We have a whole bunch of resources here. We can just add it, insert, like that. Will that work? Not found in the scope. We got to throw it in here. Use RT editor. Okay, and then we should be able to have it here. Let's actually have it start with some text so we can actually see it there. Sample editor text. Sure. So CTX print. Is it row column or column row? I don't know. Let's say 410. Sure. And then this will be, oh, we got to fetch it. So GS ECS fetch editor, and we'll just say editor dot. Should we implement toString it on it? Impl toString for editor. What's the function we need for that? Oh, that's going to crash. I'm just having the Rust check tell me what I need to write. We just need toString. Okay, so it's fn toString self return standard string, which I think is just that. So self text clone. And then in the GUI, we can say editor.toString. And we'll see if that shows up. All right, in about 25 to 30 seconds. Tuck Y, thank you for the follow. And there we go, refresh, begin new game, summon. Sample editor text. So, okay, so 4 over and 10 down, right? So it's XY. All right, that's good to know. So if we go into the GUI code again, oh, it's not there, editor. Okay, and then we want to draw the box, right? So we want to start off by drawing a box, just like we have here. And say summon item in the box text. So CTX, draw a box. 15, sure. And then how far down? This is at 10. We have 25 minus count over 2. So let's say 20, sure. And then that's as eyes 32 and then white and black. Oh yeah, let's grab these texts. I mean these colors. Don't need that. And we'll draw a box there, and then how wide? 31, and how high? Let's see, we'll need one for the box, one for the bottom, and then one in between, 3. Let's make it 5. And it's going to be white and black. And then we're going to CTX print. We want to put this thing here. So the X is going to be 18, just like here. And then it's going to be the same distance down. Y is 20. And then summon item. Oh, we can do a print color just like down there, right? And it'll be yellow and black. Sure. Summon item. Then we want to put a little greater than sign as a text prompt, maybe. But what we can do, actually, before we do that, let's see, if the text prompt is going to be, let's see, this is at 15. So at 17 is where the prompt will be. So at 19, I guess, over, and then 22 down is going to be the editor. Okay. Let's check this out. I wish there were a faster build test cycle than waiting 22 seconds to see if things line up. The other option is to just write a bunch of code and see how bad it looks. But then we have to go through the edit compile cycle that way after it's all written. So I don't know which way is less painful, but they're both pretty painful. Okay, so summon. Okay. Yeah, so this is a good spot. Okay, we can move this up by 1, I think. And then we can put the caret or the greater than sign here. So that's showing up there nicely. Editor. All right, so the box doesn't have to be 5, it can be 4 large. Macus. Thank you for the follow. All right, and then summon item. Maybe 19's over too far. We can put this over at 18, just so it'll line up with this thing. And then instead of sample editor text, now we need to actually process keys, right? Is there an easier way to do this? I'm going to do that, so I can do this. And then I can't go A to Z. I can't. I know I can't. Oh, is this going to complain that I'm not returning the right type? Yeah. This is of type virtual key code, but should be char or numeric. Yeah, and those errors I don't care about. So I can't do this, which means I have to do A or B or C or D, E. That's annoying. N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, oops, T, U, V, W, X, Y, or Z. And what this will do, this will tell our editor, so we need to fetch mut. Editor dot insert key code key. And then we have to write that. Eric Blog says, I read that there's someone working full-time on trying to get faster builds with Rust. Yeah, I one of the problems though is, I mean, that's great. That's great. Performance is key to development velocity, right? One of my problems is that I'm running Pretzel Rocks and OBS and the compiler and the browser and the web server all on the same machine. I really need to get a streaming setup where I have a streamer PC and an actual PC or a working PC. So part of it's on me. All right, let's go to the editor and add this function, insert key code. And we're going to have to translate somehow. Pub fun. Insert key code. Mut self. It doesn't need to return anything. And then we're going to, I guess, oh, and the key code. Can I put that in here? Use, I don't know if I can do it here. Virtual key code star. Paco007. Thank you for the follow. So this would be code. Virtual key code. Like that. And then we're going to translate. Match code. This is going to be painful. A is self.text. Push A. No, I don't want to do it like this. Because I need to also handle uppercase. And uppercase is going to be something different. I just did a GD to jump to the definition for this guy, but it's not working. Let's take a look at the virtual key code in the bracket library. Where is it? Oh, this is Mizzard's thing, and that's the other thing. And then I don't want that anymore, so bracket lib virtual key code. Where does it get stored though? Because it's not part of, it's coming from the context, right? From the RLTK context. So let's take a look at that. Results, no? Okay, so maybe it's not in this bracket lib. Let's take a look. Crates.io, RLTK. There it is. Docs. RLTK. Let's just look at the thing itself. Yeah, there we go. So shift and control and alt are all booleans on that. So I'm going to want to pass that in. For capital letters, I'm going to want is shift bool. And then I don't want to have a match key code, and it says for each one of these, say if is shift, insert capital A, otherwise lowercase a. Ooh. So I'm gonna cheat. Use standard collections hash map, and we're gonna stick in a key map, which is gonna be a hash map from virtual key code to char. And then when we create this thing, key map. And this is going to be the pain point here. Hash map. Ooh, we can do a hash map from, right? Rust, hash map from vec. Sid Ano, thank you for the follow. Yeah, from. Okay, so we can just do it this way. From, like this, and we can say A is A, and then we're done. B, C, D. Okay. B, C, there's got to be a better way to do this, right? O, P, Q, R, oops, S, T, U, W, Z. And then up here, we're going to change all these guys. B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It's harder to do it on the movement keys. And O, P, Q, R, T, U, E, X, Y, and then Z. And then that should simplify this part here, right? So we don't have to do a match code. We can just say self text, if is shift, self text push, self key map of code unwrap to uppercase. I assume I can do a to uppercase on a char. If not, I will learn my lesson the hard way. Self text push, self key map, code unwrap. Okay. Sid says, why didn't I use to lowercase? Because these are all lowercase already. So I need to make it uppercase if the shift key is there. So does this check? Oh, right, I have to fix that. Use import is not supported in traits or impulse. Fine. RLTK. Oh, I guess I need to put it before it. Sure. And then all those are not found, but I want to get to the other thing where I actually have to do or take away the array. ToString method cannot be called on fetch mute. Really? Due to unsatisfied trait bound? Or maybe because it doesn't. Let's get it to build first. Yeah, okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, I probably have to star it, right? Really? And ToString exists for this, so I probably have to pull this out with a star like that. Okay, we still have 5 errors though. Expected 2 arguments. Really? Oh, right, because I have to say CTX shift. And then what else? What else is wrong? Oh, this actually has to return something. Right. right, so we've got to open brace that and then do this, semicolon, summon item result, no response, right? Because we're not giving it a response. We're just adding the key to the work. Oh, and then I typoed that. And it doesn't like these. Oh, did I? Oh, I have to. Oh, oh no! And it converted all these very nicely, formatted these for me. This is painful to watch. I know. I'm sorry. Almost done. Oops. And now we need an open paren here and down this way. We need to convert these all to closed parens. Come on. I close. Okay. So that should work.
That's kind of crap. I want to do that again.
Right? Okay, we still have 3 errors. We have a key map, expected char found. Really? Oh, these got to be chars. Oh boy. Okay, that should fix that one. Help. Oh, get. Keymap.get. Right? And it still doesn't like it. Expected char found. Found. Struct to uppercase. Found struct to uppercase. Rust. Struct to uppercase. It's an iterator. It's an iterator. I guess converting a lowercase to uppercase might result in more than one character. Oops. Extend, and then I guess we got to iter or collect. I don't know the right syntax there. Oh, right. Duh. No. Oh, extend. Okay, and it doesn't like this now. Move occurs because value has type editor, which does not implement the copy trait. Consider borrowing. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, duh. This has to be mut. And now this doesn't work. Editor is an ampersand reference, so data it refers to cannot be borrowed as mutable. Okay, so I really need to do it this way. I don't want to copy it. I want to actually have access to the data. This wasn't supposed to be this hard. I don't know. I mean, I can add copy and clone to this thing here and see if it does the trick. But I don't know if that's going to break. Derive, copy, clone. Right, I don't want to copy it. Oh, it has a string, so you can't do a copy. You can just do a clone. I don't want to clone it. I want to modify the editor that's in place. If I do this, it's not going to work, right? Oh, that worked. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I think this will do the trick then. We don't need to star that. We can just grab it directly. So now the question is this going to work? After all that, can we actually type characters and see it show up here? I should be able to hit escape. Yes, that made it go away. That's good. So that hasn't been broken. There we go. Refresh. Begin new game. Summon item by name. Oh, it still has sample editor text. And look at that. I can hit J and I can hit a whole bunch of characters and it just goes off the edges of the screen. We got to implement backspace now. All right, that's neat. So it's extending that string out. Let's implement backspace. Where's the sample editor text? Is that in game state? Oh, maybe that's just in my editor. Yeah, I put it right here. Okay. So let's get rid of that. And then what I want to do is in GUI implement backspace. Let's say backspace. I think that's all it is, an editor backspace. We don't need to give it anything else, right? So let's go here and then add a backspace, pub fun backspace, not self. We don't have to return anything. We can just say if self not, if not self text is empty. We want to remove the last character of a string. How do you do that? Must remove the last character from a string. Okay, is there a simpler way to do it? Oh, string slices. Okay, so we can just say let string stir is equal to self text. Well, wait, we should be able to do it that way just directly, right? Zero dot self. Oh, let last is equal self text len minus one last. Okay. Right? No, didn't like that. Editor backspace, up a comma. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that we need to insert. We have to return the fact that nothing happened. And it doesn't like this. Five warnings. What are those warnings? We'll find out in a second. Unreachable pattern. Oh no. Backspace matches any value. So it's not backspace then. It was in this thing, right? Virtual key code. Here it is. Escape, snapshot, scroll, maybe delete. There's back, backslash, web back. I guess we'll try delete, but I don't think it's a delete, but let's see. So this should be delete. I guess that's one advantage of using it with a colon, so you know that you're not making something up. Okay. Let us see if this works. Okay. Summon. A, B, C, D, E, F. Backspace. I'm hitting backspace, but nothing's coming out. Maybe I can log the virtual key code down here, so I can see what's. Yeah. Tutorial GUI. So anything else, any other key, I'll just say log it. RLTK console log format bang key code this key. And that way we can see what it's doing. Because obviously it's not delete. What else would it be? Pause, insert, home, delete, end, left, right, up, down, back, return. I mean, it might be back. No, but those are the arrow keys, right? I don't know what it would be. It's got to be one of them, right? That can't be the only key that is not handled. That would be bizarre. What's the error here? Oh, no comma. Are there any other things here? There's backspace. Insert next to backspace. Back is the backspace key right over the enter. Oh, okay. All right. Oh shoot, we're getting spammers. That's annoying. Man. There we go. Okay. And now we can refresh here. Begin new game. Uh-oh. Here we go. S, A, B, C, D, E, F. Delete. It is key code back. Okay. So that's showing up down here. All right. So that backspace would work. So now what we need to do is actually have it when you hit return. Let's say, let me press enter. Key code return. That it actually returns the code that we're looking for. So I think we're really close. This should be back. Escape and then return is going to be summon item results. I forgot what I called it already. I called it done. And this will be just editor dot to string. Okay. And then we should be able to see that back in our game state. Are we logging that? Oh no, we just call spawn named entity. So let me just print that out real quick here. RLTK console log format bang. Try to summon this result.1. Okay. Let's do a cargo check. And what should we try to, rod of fireball maybe? Rod of venom. That's what it's called. Rod of venom. So we can try summoning that and see if it works. Let's build this. And I can hit escape here. Yep. Oh, it kept the text. And I can't delete. That's something else we'll need to fix, is that when you pull up the menu the first time, it shouldn't have anything there. Another thing would be nice would be a little blinking cursor next to it. Yep, so let's refresh. Summon item, rod of... Oh. We don't have a space bar yet. Okay, GUI. Editor. Here we are, so space. And then our editor needs to have that in its list of things it can do. Space is space. And shift space doesn't matter. I don't know if shift space will work, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's just a cheating menu anyway. Good space. L shift. So L shift, I guess, will handle. Let me try R shift. Yeah, that recognizes that as a shift as well. So, but it's interesting that we actually get those characters. What about control? Right control. Right Windows. Right Alt. And there's left control. Okay. Okay, refresh. Begin. Summon. Rod of Venom. Ooh, is this going to work? Hello, Aura. Thank you for joining. We're actually almost done with this stream. Ooh, look at that. And it's an unidentified rod. It actually worked. It actually worked. If I hit Shift 3 now, I can target the barkeep. And he's got a dot of 4. Perfect. So that worked. What if I try to summon something that doesn't exist? Oh, look, backspace works. RXYZ. It says trying to summon RXYZ and it didn't crash the game, which is good. Alright, so that worked. I have 10 minutes. Can I add a blinking cursor in 10 minutes? In order to blink a cursor, I think what I'm going to need is a cursor count. And then every time we call to string on it, we're going to increment the count. Oh no, that won't work because that can't be a. We can say pub fun blink. Cell, and it can just returns a bool if it's on or off. And now all it would do is reverse the character, reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. So we say self dot if self. Yeah, we're gonna just increment it. Dot. What do I call it? Just cursor. There we go. Cursor. And we let's do 60, right? So from 30 to 60, we'll just say self, if it's greater than or equal to 60, we'll say self cursor equals 0, and then we can return true if self cursor is less than 30. Like that. else self cursor plus equals 1. Right? So every time we call blink, which I think we go through the game loop 60 times a second. Then we will just, yeah, and then we'll need a reset, right? Pub font reset. Oh, let's do that later. Yeah, and then so this will return true to say, should you show the cursor after the last character? Okay, and then in GUI, editor, we just call blink here if, oh no, let cursor show cursor equals editor blink, right? And then after the toString, let text is the editor string, because we're going to need it again here. TXT, then at CTX print color. We're going to invert the color. It's going to be on line 18. No, it's not going to be 18 over. It's going to be text over plus 18. It's going to be 20 down. It's going to be black and white. Oh. So we can just say if editor blank. So it's going to be black. Because I'm putting a space. So a space with white black would be black, right? I think it's like this. Oh, can I do that? Just get a reference to it. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if this works and see if we have a nice blinking cursor. And if we're called 60 times a second, it means that we should blink once a second, right? 30 frames on, 30 frames off. That might be too slow. Okay, refresh, begin new game, summon. While it's blinking, it's just blinking in the wrong spot. And that's a decent speed, right? So in the GUI, we want to say blink. So this isn't supposed to be 20 down. This should be at the same line that we're putting the text, which is 22. So now if I type characters A, B, C, and it is moving along with it. Although, you know, one of the things about when you draw cursors is they should reset when you add. Okay, so that's something we can do too. Lib. So whenever you insert a key code, we're going to set the self cursor back to 0 so that it shows up right away when you type the character rather than being off. If I type D, see how the cursor is still blinking there? That's no good. Okay, so let's build this. And then the only other thing I want to do is put a little greater than sign there so you can see that you're typing in something at a prompt. Oh, backspace also should reset the cursor. Okay, we'll fix both of those. And if I hit backspace here and it doesn't do anything, good. Oh, I don't want to build, I want to refresh. Summon. Look at that. Look at me. Oh, I can't exclamation mark. That's right. Look at me. Look at that. And the cursor stays on now when you type the characters, except for backspace. So, okay, so let's fix those two little things. Lib. Yeah, and then I should move this editor to a different file. I guess self. If you do it when there's nothing to delete, you still want to have the cursor stay on. Okay, so that's that, and then in GUI blink, we want to put in 22. We're putting the text. So at ctx print 1622 is just going to be a character like that. Right, and that should. Oh, yeah, and the only other thing is we want to limit the length. Right, we don't want to allow the thing to get too long. So I'm trying to think, where should we put that? I can put it here, right? You know, if text.len is less than, I don't know, how long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 27, right? And then otherwise it'll drop down here, and I guess we don't need this key code thing anymore. I'll leave it in there in case I want to insert it real quick, easily, because sometimes it's nice to see that. The Butchermaster says, I think blinking underscore will look much better. What do you think? Yeah, I guess it's personal preference. Either way. We certainly could do a blinking underscore. That would change this essentially, right? All right, let's see if this works. I'll push these changes, and then this is going to be on GitHub. So Butchermaster, if you want to modify it, because I'm out of time essentially now. If you want to change it to an underscore and submit a PR, I'd be more than happy to take that. Let's see. Yeah, I have to wrap up. I have to go in about 4 minutes. So let's see. Can we summon an item? There's the little prompt cursor thing. And now backspace keeps the cursor on. And yep, it doesn't get too long. And we should be able to summon just about anything. Venom. Oh, you know what? I forgot that we need numbers as well. Don't! All right. Let's add numbers. Oops. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There we go. Oops. 9, 8, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oops. What did I mess up there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then I also need to modify the GUI code. Because we also need to pass in those here. And what are they called? Key. The one over the letters. Okay, so it's key 1. Oh, and I need to fix the, yeah, I messed up, didn't I? This has to be key. All these need to be keys. Okay, so now we should be able to summon Venom 101. I'm probably going to go a little over my time here, unfortunately, because I still need to clippy this. Hopefully Clippy's clean. All right, any second now. There we go. New game. Summon Venom 101. There we go. Got Venom 101. Shift 3. Now I've learned the Venom spell, and I can cast Control 1 Venom on this poor patron. Bam. And now he's got a dot. Very good. And he's sitting on a chair. I think that's it. Okay. Clippy. Is Clippy happy? If Clippy's happy, I'm going to go away. And I'm happy too. No. Add a default. Can I just derive default for that guy? Because we do have the new. I don't know if we can do that. Let's see. Probably not. Oh, no, that worked. Okay, so Clippy should be happy now. Unfortunately, Clippy only takes 10 seconds to build. Yep, okay, so git add source, git status, git commit -m, added a summon item cheat. So Faffy says if you derive default, it'll give you an empty hash map and not call new. I hope that's what you want. That is exactly not what I want. Oh, God. Okay. And didn't like that because I already have. Okay. I still need to put this editor thing into a new file, but I'm not going to do that now. Git add source, git commit, oops, default. Thanks, Safafi. Oh. I forgot how to put exclamation points in there. Okay, so git push, and that is that for today. Right, so we added the summon item sheet. That was a pretty big change. Here's our editor, which again I need to refactor into its own file. We have the summon item GUI code manager, and then we have the summon item editor thingy in here. And I don't like all these no response to string businesses. Maybe this should have been an option. This should have been an option string, I think. All right. But next week, we're going to get back to crafting interpreters. Starting on Monday, we're going to work on conditional execution, which is going to be ifs and elses and whiles and fors, I'm guessing. Yeah, looping control flow. So that's going to be fun. And we're going to come back in 2 weeks. Well, a week and 4 days, 5 days, to the next chapter of this, which is going to be Mushroom Forest. We got to get those shrooms. Okay, and I am well over my stream time limit. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me. Echoic Blog, take care as well. And I will see you Monday with Crafting Interpreters. Have a great weekend, everyone.